On today's Wednesday feature, former national volleyball captain Mr. Walter Bascom talks about his life as a volleyball player. More from Sasha Ramsaran.
Yeah, I really didn't want it to play volleyball, but due to me coming out and playing cricket, and I used to play at the BI ground, but whenever it rains, we had to go to the fire service department for using their court. As such, I began to look around and saw these guys playing volleyball, and I decided to join them one afternoon. And so such a fellow by the name of Clifton Phillips, who saw some potential in me, and so I decided just to continue with these guys.
Former national volleyball captain and former president of the Burmese Volleyball Association (BVA), Mr. Walter Bascom, was born in the year 1957 to Walter and Lillian Bascom. He started competing in the sport in the year 1976 at the age of 19. During a recent interview with Channel 8 News, Mr. Bascom shared some of his greatest experiences in the game of volleyball.
Some of my greatest experience in the game of volleyball was first making the national team. Because I always tell myself that out of cricket and volleyball, which one would take me out of the country first? And it so happened it was volleyball in 1979 to Suriname. Unfortunately, I didn't play during that tournament because of injuries. We went on the following year to French Guiana. I did play, and I was awarded the most valuable player of the tournament. The Caribbean Championship, which was held at the National Sports Hall. That was a very good experience for me too. We did excel well. Of course, we was trained hard for it, and as such we come out victorious in the event.
Mr. Walter Bascom was born in New Amsterdam and was an active member of the Rollers Volleyball Club in his early years.
Just in New Amsterdam here. Right in New Amsterdam. I don't really want to mention the name where I come from, but it's Coudam. Really I am from, and that's why I mentioned fire service, because that's where we come through, and then we extended to that was Coop Bank Court, and that's where we went on and further formed the club, Rollers Volleyball Club, and from there we had a good takeoff.
So were your family supportive with your choice?
Yes, always. My family was always supportive of me playing, the game and so on. I did play with some few top players in the country. For example, a name that I can call like Basil Williams, the legal affairs minister now. Well, I did captain in volleyball, men like Evan Chi, Clifton Phillips, St. Charles Henry, Ian Carrington, Ian Shepard, Desmond Isaacs from the Army, Levi Ned, the president of the Burmese Volleyball Association. So it was really good for me during the period of time playing volleyball.
When questioned about the issue of promoting the game of volleyball, Mr. Walter made these comments.
In terms of promoting the game, it's left on the administrator who's been selected to manage the organization or the federation. I'm very happy to know that how Levi started off the BVA. It was that who spurred me to come and to make some contribution. I do hope the following organization, the Demerara Volleyball Association and the Guyana Volleyball Federation, should follow his footsteps and get into some serious action about developing the game of volleyball.
At the conclusion of his interview, Mr. Bascom gave a few words of advice to those persons who wish to become involved in the sport.
With volleyball, you have to take some form of personal training other than what the coaches or the team organize about. Personal training. First of all, you gotta tell yourself that the game is bigger than you. Secondly, you must make some objective aims at the game. Thirdly, you must be disciplined. And fourthly, the personal training so as to achieve that extra height in the game.
Mr. Walter Bascom was also actively involved in other sports such as cricket, table tennis and basketball, and has been privileged enough to visit a number of countries including French Guiana, Suriname, England and Holland. He is planning on sponsoring a volleyball competition in Berbice later this year. Sasha Ramsaran reporting for Channel 8 News.